Hello, 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 and welcome. This is the Texas Live, and I am Shane Moore.
And I am Sue Ellen.
And we welcome you to another episode. Tonight, we will be doing part 2 of the show I did last night, Mentalism Techniques Revealed. Part 2. And, of course, I explained this last night, but I'll explain it again. Many people who claim to be psychics, mind readers, channelers, messengers from God, with supernatural abilities, many are actually using nothing more than mentalism techniques, which are very powerful techniques. They're very subtle, but they're very powerful. Now, I'm not saying that I don't believe in that, people have certain psychic abilities and can do the, seemingly supernatural. I'm just saying that the real thing is very rare. And so I want to believe, very much so, but it is very, very rare. And we will talk about different people, such as Sylvia Brown, who was really, really big back in the day, and like John Edwards and James Von Pra, I believe is his name, that supposedly talk to your deceased loved ones. These people are, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I've gone to those. They're the ones, does it start with a J, a T, an R, an L, give me an N?
Right.
It's ridiculous.
It's like they're talking to Pat Sajak, I mean, it's like, yeah, I'd like to buy a letter. Yeah. The only thing is Vanna White's not there, I mean, it is just horrible what these people do. And what I really, really found very, well, it was bound to come sooner or later. But Sylvia Brown, she proved that she was a fraud by she was on Montel Williams' talk show, and she said that they were talking about the little girl Elizabeth Smart that was kidnapped. And this was years ago, and she said that she was dead, that she'd been murdered. And,
Right.
And this girl's parents are sitting in the audience, and they are devastated. And Sylvia Brown's sitting there, and like she's sitting on a throne, like she knows everything. And she says, "Oh yes," and she talked about how the girl died and everything. And she said, she didn't suffer, and but I won't go into the details. You know why? Because she didn't know the details. She didn't know anything. She was just making it up. She took the chance that the little girl was dead and had been murdered, which most are when they're missing for that long. And
Right.
You know what? She was wrong.
And what happened to that girl? That was the one that came back from it was the mind control cult, right?
Yes, but she was just she was just like, I mean, like maybe 20 miles away from home, or not even 20 miles. I think it was more like 5.
Right.
And they just kept her in the house as their slave. And but Sylvia Brown, man, she just went into this big elaborate story about how she died and this and that. And for someone to do that, what now? Yeah, she did. She busted herself. And for someone to do that, to look at grieving parents, I mean, their daughter's already missing, and then to say, to make this up that, oh yes, she's been killed. And I think that she actually said that she had talked to her. She had talked to the dead girl, and it was monumental. I mean, it was just absolutely insane what this woman did. And of course, I never liked Sylvia Brown, and I don't like John Edwards. I mean, he's so nice and everything. No, that's all an act, because he's taking money hand over fist. There's a lot of background on your in Sel, and I'm not sure.
Let me check.
Tremendously.
Jeez. Tell me if that gets better.
Yeah, it's better now. A lot better.
Okay.
But
sorry about.
No, that's fine. But it was just and this James Von Pra. Hey, Mona.
Hi, Mona.
Glad you're here. But it's these people, they just go and they're helping people. They're helping people to reunite with their loved ones. They're giving closure. No, they're not. They're not giving any kind of closure. They are giving people false hopes. And this is what Harry Houdini did. And I'm no Harry Houdini, but maybe I'm close. I mean, no, I'm kidding. First off, you will not catch me on the roof, much less, hanging off a building. I mean, I'm terrified of heights. Just can't do it. So, but Houdini was talk about someone who was just, yeah. There it is again. Not sure what that is, but it's coming from your phone.
I covered it up.
Okay, good. Yeah. Bury that. But anyway, yes, he knew exactly how these people worked, and how these people con people out of money, and raised their hopes and gave them false hopes and dreams, and
he spent his life going out there and disproving them.
That's right, exactly. And I went to a psychic once just to tell her that basically to critique her, and man, was she mad. She thought I was there because I played the part, and then I said, oh, by the way, I said, when you asked me, when you told me that you could tell me more, but it would be an extra $100, I said, that's when I read your mind. And I said, let me tell you. And so I went through the different things. I said, I know exactly how you work. I said, you thought that I was just some, gullible, person that, or, someone that wasn't paying attention, that you could just, and man, she's like, leave now. I'm like, don't worry, I'm headed out. She says, I will call the police. They're friends of mine. I'm like, I bet they are. So this was in Fort Worth, Texas. And she was livid, and she says, I will sue you for slander. I'm like, hey, I haven't said anything yet, But yeah, telling me that she saw me living by the ocean, and with a blonde headed wife that was younger than me, and we had a child, and we all loved the beach. And I'm thinking, well, maybe the imaginary woman and child you see in your mind loves the beach and the sun and heat, but not me. I mean, I love it, but I can't be out in it. And so she was so wrong on so many accounts, but I saw how she twisted it.
I went to one that was eerily correct.
Well, now this is the test. This is the litmus test. Were they really correct, or is that what they made you believe?
No, that one, it's over 20 something years to prove it correct.
What now?
It took it about 25 years to prove it correct, what she said.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, depending on what it was, that's another thing. Is they can say something, or they can tell you what's going to happen in your future, and given enough time, I mean, there's a pretty good chance that what they say is going to take place, because
well, yeah, they can plant the seed in your mind too. It's done for manipulation, and there's people out there that can use these things to feed on people and feed on their sorrow and their desperation.
Absolutely. Like these like these supposed channelers. And I'm sorry, but there's these people that I see on certain social media, and man, I am going to have so many crosshairs on me, but you know what? I really don't care, because I'm just gonna say it. These people that I'll say that they teach people how to live.
Jacob.
Hey, Jacob. That they teach people how to live. I'm not gonna use their title, what they call themselves, but they teach people how to live. They actually give them lessons on how to live. And my question is whatever happened to just living? I mean, really, do you need someone that teaches you how to live? I mean, it's basically, it's pretty simple. It's not what happens to you as much as how you react to what happens to you. You're in charge. So the life teachers or whatever, and I'm getting ready for all the hate mail and everything. So, but truthfully, there's some that I've seen that also claim to be channelers. Hey, Elaine.
Hi, Elaine.
My brother from another mother and my sister from another mister. Right here. Oh. Anyway, yes, these I'll just say they're life teachers, Some are also channelers. Whoa, look out, And they, like this one, or there's been several that they say this was like January the 1st of this year, New Year's Day. This one supposed channeler, whoa, she says, wrote this out and put it on Facebook. And I'm reading this, and I'm like, okay. And then this
Hi,
is what
Stacey.
it said. Hey, Stacy. This is what it said. Like, but it was just very, very. This is not, word for word, but it's. She says, 2019 is going to be a very strenuous, interesting year. So there's going to be ups and downs. So there's going to be financial strain. There's going to be much sickness, but in the end, it will balance out as it always does, and you will be stronger because of it. Channeled by, and actually puts her name to this, which I would rather floss my teeth with rusty barbed wire than to put my name to some garbage like that. I mean, it's so vague and so general. Mona says it sounds like Sue Ellen is walking against the wind.
Still having problems, huh?
I would just I would put your phone under a blanket or comforter or something, because it is so sensitive.
I already did that too.
Well, we're gonna have to bury this thing.
See if I can turn it down.
It's okay. But yeah, she says says,
is that any better?
Yes, much better. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. But she just makes these very vague, I mean, just broad, statements. No, there it is again. I have no idea. But sounds like that your phone might be near a vent, or there might be a fan on, or.
I have it completely covered. I just turned off the fan.
That's very weird. But so she says, she said the Archangel Michael channeled by and gave her name. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, really? Yeah, you just predicted, or the Archangel Michael just predicted the year for everyone. Absolutely 100% for everyone, it's going to be right. So my question is that I asked was, what about something specific, and she didn't like that. Yeah, right. So precise. So I said, what about, something specific? Well, whoa. She didn't like that. And so last year I was on, Facebook with these psychics that would go live, and I would be there, and I would just ask certain questions, specific questions, I mean, not really, really hard, but I mean, and man, you talk about being invisible. Whoa. And some even just blocked me, they just kicked me out, because I was a troublemaker. No, really wasn't.
Yeah, I experienced that in some churches I visited.
Yep. It's then they say, channeled by the Archangel Raphael or channeled by the Archangel Gabriel. You never hear of anyone channeling a not so well known angel. You know, I mean, it's always those three. It's always Michael's the big one. I mean, whoa, he's the big one. I mean, it's like Michael gets around because, man, everybody channels him, and he's everybody's like best friend. He's with them all the time, and they hang out.
Well, different of the angels are supposed to have different functions.
Right.
Just like the Catholic saints. You lose something, you're going to be talking to Saint Anthony.
Yeah. It is. Jacob says, I'm channeling now. 2019, a bear will defecate in the woods. Yes. But what they do is it's amazing to see how many people are just, oh, read my future. Tell me what's going to happen to me. And I'm thinking, is there something wrong with you? I mean, does the elevator not go to the upper floors with you? Because did you just not, did you pick up the vague readings that she's giving? And what is amazing, and it's not really amazing. It is really, sad, is that these people, these mentalists, and I'm not saying that mentalists are bad. I'm just saying that those who take advantage of people and give them false hopes to make themselves look good, or to take their money, they are bad. They're horrible. But what they do is they will, someone will say, okay, what's going to happen with me and my boyfriend? Or what's going to happen with me and my abusive husband? Or what's going to happen to my son that's on drugs? Okay, this is what you call...
you're feeding them.
Yes. They are feeding that person, that mentalist, who knows exactly, well, I know how you feel. You cry yourself to sleep every night. Well, what mother wouldn't if her son was on drugs and dying or whatever? And what person wouldn't who was being abused on a daily basis? And so they're experts at human psychology, probably better than the actual doctors themselves. But this is just it. Is the other people that are listening, or that are in the chat, or that are in the meeting, they go absolutely crazy because of what she said was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And the way she says it, or the way they say it, is they're saying it's going to happen, but the way they say it, the way they deliver it, is it has already happened. And therefore, the person, they hear the words, but it's like they hear the words to the song, but they don't hear the music. And they get all excited and everything, and they don't realize that there's just there's a huge part of that, what's been said, that's missing. And that is, it hasn't happened yet. So, there you go.
Well, yeah. And you can also, feed people, give people information, and then you can make people become their own self-fulfilling prophecies.
Right.
And, they will it into being. And then you have manipulation over the person. That's why you got to be able to control, your own self and really figure out what you need, and learn to do those things for yourself. Don't give up your power to somebody else.
That's right. And it's so
but sometimes people get low, they get depressed, and I mean those things out there has helped a lot of people.
Yes.
Unfortunately, behind it for many of them, the reasons I'm sure not that great.
Well, one thing that I would like to say is that, again, I'm not saying that I don't believe in it. There are people that truly have gifts that I can't explain. That
I know because I've had experiences that I cannot explain.
Me too. But what I'm saying is the true people, those who really have those gifts, those powers, whatever you want to call them, they're not going to put them on display. They're not going to go on YouTube with in bold letters, I will read your future and I will send you healing. Those are people who didn't get enough attention that day, and they're like, well, I'm going to do this, and man, do they get the attention, because it's just it's crazy. So
but people definitely do get hooked. They give away a lot of money. Some of them even donate money to their psychics.
Do what now?
Some people even leave money to their psychics when they pass. They rely so much on their psychics. Nancy Reagan had a lot of seances, and she always would talk to psychics.
Oh, Nancy Reagan's there you're talking about?
Yeah.
They had them in the White House. I mean, so
exactly.
It's crazy. Yeah. So that's yeah. Abraham Lincoln's wife. Yeah, because of their son that died.
She tried to contact the spirits too? Yeah.
She did. Absolutely.
And a lot of scientists were trying to do it because they believed that everything was science, even the things, we couldn't understand, and that even communicating with, our relatives and living beyond this was a matter of science. So, they explored any means they could to try to communicate with something beyond the world. That's why they had to go so underground.
Absolutely. Hey, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
Hope you're doing well. Yes, we were talking about Houdini and how he so expertly, he just
debunked.
He debunked these people, and basically like a surgeon, just took them out. Oh, but yeah, it is very, very shocking how they know the human psyche. They can't really read your mind, but they have studied people for so long that they take a chance, but they know they basically know how you're going to react. So,
yeah, I remember even watching a thing on Scientology, and they were talking about that. They were instructed in the higher levels of how to win at debates, how to manipulate in conversations and overpower and get what you want.
Yes, and Norman Vincent Peale, The Power of Positive Thinking. I mean,
oh yeah,
that's a great book. That's a great book, but really,
one of the first books I read like that.
Yeah. I mean, I read it, and I thought, man, what a great book. But really, it is nothing more than a book on self-hypnosis, self-talk. I mean, and
Right.
that's what I tell people all the time. You know, talk to yourself.
Right, and Jacob says exactly, people who truly have those gifts don't do it for money or prestige. They do what they do to help others. If they do so for any other reason, their gifts are not of the light. I don't know if I necessarily believe in all that. I mean, people are supposed to make no money who do good stuff, and while the world is run by people that do nefarious stuff, and they make a lot of money. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think that people should be able to make money at, what they're good at. It's not. People do it for all sorts of reasons.
Well, let's see. Michelle, you say it takes a deep amount of study to calculate the human psyche. There is a science, though we are not told, though, about the energies of the days and hours, and it breaks down by numbers. Well, okay.
I've heard of that. We're talking about.
Yeah. That's the Rosicrucians. I mean, the days and hours. Yeah, Rosicrucianism, absolutely. But it takes a deep amount of study to calculate the human psyche completely. But come on, I mean, it doesn't take a lifetime. It doesn't take 10 years. I mean, some people, they just, they can read a person right away. I mean, and so I respectfully disagree with that statement. Now, to calculate it, to truly understand it completely, no one ever will. But like I said, to basically bet on or be pretty sure of the reaction or the choice a person's going to make. Yeah, that's pretty much on an individual basis.
That's why data is everything right now. Everything breaks down to data. If you have data, you have power, you have information. So all the companies are trying to buy up all the data that they can. So all that data, I think, does really matter.
Well, it's information is the new gold. It is as valuable as gold. It's more valuable than gold itself. Yeah. But yes, and you're right, Elaine. Your brain is a computer. Garbage in, garbage out. What you program it with, yeah. And that's true.
They spend a lot of time programming our brains with a lot of garbage. Starts with kids and TV.
Well, let's see, Michelle. You say the science is about energies on when to do things and when to start and finish stuff. it's like aligning with the universe code. Okay, that is basic. That sounds like Rosicrucianism, where they take they take each person's life in 7-year increments, and in those 7 years they break it down. And but as far as the as far as when to do things and when to start and finish things, I am not going to go by some code or anything like that. I'm going to go by my own intuition, because when we start following codes and different, okay, say it's
right.
universal, not based on personal, but it's okay. So, but aligning with the universe code, I think that we already are. I mean, I think that we already are aligned with the universe. That's my opinion.
Well, I've been watching a lot of National Geographic lately, and that's like almost all I watch. And I'm like, I realize we're not aligned with nature anymore. Like, even when you're watching things in nature and you see an animal kill another animal, there's just like a calmness and a peace to it all. There's not all this frantic. It's just we've become so frantic. All the things that they give us that keep telling us they're going to make our lives quicker and make things easier seem to take up a lot more of our time than I would have thought.
Yeah, that's really rough, because I'm cheering for the zebra, run, but I know that that some have to be eaten. Or the lion starves. So
right.
Yeah, it just really sucks. But that doesn't mean that I have to enjoy watching it.
No. No. Yeah. But there are different things that I relate, like the way people are with meat in slaughterhouses now. People are not, they don't have any connection to what they do anymore. They have somebody else to do it for you. So it's not even in your mind, when it should be something that I had, if you're going to eat it, you got to be willing to kill it, right? That's how I look at it.
Well, I guess. Gosh, I never really thought about that, but well, if that was the case, then I wouldn't be eating meat. I would eat fish, but nothing against fish. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I just pretty much changed. I tried vegetarian for a while, but it didn't work. It was so expensive, and I didn't really have a great system for it. And I'm learning more, but then I went back to eating the meat. But yeah, I stick with only what I'm willing to kill. I grew up on a ranch.
Let's see.
So
let's see some of the live chat comments. Natural selection. Let's say Jacob like King Solomon. Elaine. Jacob says knowledge is not power. Wisdom to use that knowledge is power. Stacy says, have you ever seen wolves kill just for the fun of it and leave prey, have a life and go on to something else? I'm not quite sure.
They toy with what they're killing.
Yeah, but like she said, they leave it. they're not killing it to actually eat it. They're just killing it to kill it.
Right.
I have no idea. And then Elaine says cats will toy with you, though, before they go in for the kill, and then toy with you during their kill. Whoa, man. Don't even get me started. Cats hurt. Man. Ooh, man, they dig those claws in, and then the teeth. My God.
Yeah, a cat will eat you after you die.
Yeah, a dog won't, but a cat will. And truthfully, man, I mean, a domestic cat, it can be like really, really dangerous. I mean, you talk about like pound for pound, the most dangerous, the strongest, the most ferocious animal on earth is a bobcat. And they're not that big, I mean, as far as the cats go. But they can kill you, and they're like, what, 25 pounds? I mean, 25 pounds? Man, yeah. They can rip you apart. And
yeah, Elaine said like hypodermic needles for claws.
Right. I mean, it's crazy. But anyway, okay. Now, for the first, the first mentalism trick, and don't type your answer. I'm going to tell you what your answer is. Okay. And I need everyone to let me know when you have your number, but do not type your number. I repeat, do not type your number. I'm going to tell you what your number is. So, think of a number between 1 and 500. It has to be a 3-digit number, and all 3 digits have to be odd numbers, and they can all be the same number. Now, when you have that number, keep it in your mind and let me know that you have it. And I'll tell you what your number is. And I'll say that again. Pick a number between 1 and 500. It has to be a 3-digit number. All 3 digits must be odd, but all 3 can be the same number. And again, do not type your number. I'll tell you what it is. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Elaine. Stacy, when you get yours. Jacob, when you get yours. Stacy, don't type the number. I said between 1 and 500. That it must be a 3-digit number, and all 3 digits must be odd, but they can all be the same number. But don't type your number, because I'm going to tell you what it is. If you type your number, then I'm not reading your mind. Oh, okay. Leave it to me, Sheldon. I take everything literally, so yeah. Okay, Michelle, you've got yours. Elaine, you've got yours. Stacy, do you have yours? And Jacob, do you have yours? And those of you listening and not taking part in the live chat, I hope you have yours. Okay. All right, Jacob. Good. Thank you for that. But do you have your number? And by the way, I agree with what you said. Do you have your number? Well, I think I don't. I think there's something wrong or something. But anyway, those of you listening, okay, there again. Stacy and Jacob, do you have your number? I guess you do. Okay. Your number is wait, let me see. Is 333. So I felt that really strong. Really strong. So how many of you chose the number 333? It must have been a lot because I was really feeling it.
And we did this before, so that's what I picked.
So if you let me know what your okay, Michelle. Okay, you said your number was 333. Elaine, you said no. Okay. Stacy, was 333 your number? Anyway, the way that that's done, and I'm glad that Elaine that it wasn't right, is let's see, you're I'm gonna have to turn your volume down. I'm sorry, Philin, but man, that is just so deafening. I mean, it's
really, I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Let me see.
Anything on top of it?
Wait. Let me see if I can do it. But what? How that is done is, I said, okay, so Elaine and Stacy, it was not their number. Jacob and Michelle, it was their number. So this is how this is done, and the more people, the better, because what happens is I said choose a number between 1 and 500. Well, that automatically sets most people's mind up to think that they're being given a choice of 500 numbers. Okay, and then I say it has to be a 3-digit number. So that automatically takes away 99 of the numbers. And then I say it has to be, they all 3 digits have to be odd. So that takes away even more numbers. And then I say they can all 3 be the same numbers, which those are 3 steps. And I say, and all three digits can be the same number. And what that is that's neuro-linguistic programming. I'm putting 333 out there. Some people take it, some people don't. It's suggestion. I'm suggesting to you that the number to choose, or I'm putting it out there, and if you pick up on it, if your subconscious picks up on it, then you're going to choose 333. Some people they choose yes I do. Stacy, she says, do you want to know our numbers? Yes, please. 351 is one. 357 is another. So but most people pick 333. Okay, now that is, I have had people, like crowds of people, and about 70% just, they almost faint. They're like, oh my God, how did he do that? And then the rest are just kind of shaking their head. They don't really understand it, but the sad thing is that most people, they don't really pick that up. They don't pick up that I took most of the numbers away to narrow it down for to my benefit. And
I've seen that trick work a lot of times. Well, I've seen it work 3 times. Asking people, to pick a number so and so, and doing what you did. So now I know. I wondered.
Well, Michelle, maybe you just haven't met the right hypnotist. I'm not a hypnotist. I mean, I don't claim to be. Not that I know
There's
of.
There's an article on thrillist.com.
Thrill List. Oh, cool, Stacy. That's a new one. Thank you. 175.
Okay. It says 7 tricks psychics bullshit people with.
Okay.
First, they make claims that could apply to anyone, just like you said.
Mm-hmm.
2, getting them to tell you the important information.
Right. Exactly what I said last night is you would be amazed at what people say, what people tell me or tell a mentalist or someone like John Edwards. They're so excited that to be talking to someone that even claims to have these powers, and that person is taking everything they say verbatim, word for word. They're noticing everything about them, and they're archiving it. And then they feed it back to them just in a different way. Mm-hmm. And the people are amazed.
Scientology was really big on recording people in all their sessions.
Yes.
And so that's why they got involved in all those blackmailing incidences.
Yeah, what was that?
And
The N10 something like that. The meter that they use on the skin galvanization, the skin conduction.
Yeah, I've had it done before. They they put these sensors on you, and then they ask you questions.
Yeah, it's basically like a lie detector. 373, Elaine,
like
that's unusual too. So my hat's off to both of you. That's
Number 3, it says that the psychics say things that could be true or false for anyone. And 4, they keep it vague, and it lets you backtrack when they miss.
Right.
And they go ahead.
Well, one thing too is if they miss a very skilled one, you will never. Most people will never know that they missed because they're so subtle, they're so smooth, and they never. You will never see them sweat. You will never see them freak out. If they get something wrong, they know they're not worried at all. They know exactly how to twist it and blame it on you.
And they're already using that NLP programming, and they're using their voice in the monotone, hypnotizing ways.
That's right.
On top of it.
And what they will do is, I think it's just you, Stacy. Here, let me tell her. what they will do is they will use very excited language, or be very excited,
animated.
Yes, and so it's I'm not saying that people are dogs, but like dogs, okay, you can just jump up and just start acting happy, and just like you are having a party yourself. And I tell you, a dog, he will party with you, and he has no idea why he is so happy. Right?
That's right. I've never thought of it that way. That's so cute.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And you know what? People are the same way. They may not jump up and actually, be as goofy as you are or as free as you are, but they are. Yeah, it's called rapport, but it's what that is. Yes, they pick up off of their emotions, but it's so much more, because it is
kind
rapport.
Of feed off it. It's like the mob rule or the mob going.
Yes.
You get
the
mob involved.
This is a secret. This is a secret that is wow. This is going to blow your mind, but it's the truth, and it is a form of hypnosis, a form of manipulation, but it doesn't come from the mentalist. It doesn't come from the from the frauds. It doesn't come from those who are preying. It comes from the victim. Okay, and this is what it is the dog genuinely. Okay, glad you are, Stacy. The dog genuinely is reacting because he thinks you're happy, and is happy for you, and wants to party with you, but he really has, they really have no idea why. But with people, a lot of times the mentalist, they, even when they're wrong, the person has already conditioned themselves to not see it or accept it, and that's probably the biggest thing that works for the mentalist or psychic or whatever those who claim to be, is that the person does not want to upset or offend the mentalist or the psychic or whatever, who seems to be so much more superior. They're on a different level, so therefore they have built this up in their mind that this person has power.
You're looking at them like an authority.
Yes, an authority figure, a power figure, and the last thing you want to do subconsciously is to... They call
that white coat syndrome.
Yes, and it could be like a form of psychological Stockholm syndrome, I guess, because you are actually, and it has happened to me like years ago. I mean, there was different people that I just admired so much, and I couldn't see the bad things that they were doing. Why? Because I had conditioned myself. I didn't want to see. I knew it, and that's what hypnotism is. Hypnotism is not being put in a trance to where you don't know what you're doing. The true secret of hypnotism is you know what you're doing. It's just in overdrive. You are so focused on what you're doing that, it's not that you're out of control. It's that you are in control. No one hypnotizes you as much as you hypnotize yourself. Yay or nay?
Interesting. Well,
but that's a double-edged sword, because it's so subtle, and it's so hard to explain, but they do, in a way, they do hypnotize you, but they would never be convicted of it in court because they didn't do it. They just set up different things, different events.
But once the science becomes, solid, hardcore, then there is implications.
Well, I'm just saying that how it works is they use rapport, which is in hypnosis the rapport between the person and the hypnotist or the mentalist, or whatever you want to call it. It's everything, and it has to be a strong resonance, and that's what Freud talked about. Read Freud, Google Freud and rapport, and he talked about the resonance between. There were some people that he could not talk about, or he could not talk to. He couldn't counsel with, because there was too much of a rapport there. He resonated with them too much, and so it would be like if he hypnotized them or read them, he would be doing it to himself. So he couldn't do it.
Right.
He had to step back, and he called that, I forget what it was, but it was the problem with rapport, and what it boiled down to was resonating on the same frequency as that person, and I guess you would call that a high level of empathy, maybe resonance, to where you're feeling what they feel. And Michelle, you say that's deep. So a person who isn't hypnotized, they are not in control of themselves. No.
Well, I think there's different levels, because
right.
In certain ways we're hypnotized at almost since birth.
That's
if
right.
you really think about it.
Transformation. And when I say transformation, I'm talking about trance, TRANCE, formation, not transformation. That's another NLP, or very well could be.
Yeah.
But what you say is, so a person who's hypnotized, they are not in control of themselves. No, they are, but just like Sue Ellen said, there's different degrees.
It depends on the level, because if you even think about it, even they know human nature, psychology, for hundreds of thousands of years. Civilizations have come, they've gone, humans have been around for a long time. They have this down. They make it seem so complicated, but the science is there. And this is all the things that they do to control us. And part of it is to keep us completely in a state of PTSD.
Right.
Some people can't even watch certain, programs, can't watch things. They get reactions from it. They can't hear about something, or it bums them out, Now they call them triggers.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Even teenagers, stop triggering me. But, it's kind of true. But I learned that even with eating meat. I'm not saying I've ever been like a vegetarian or whatever. I grew up eating meat, but the fact that we give our children meat before they get out of the hypnagogic state, out of that cartoon state, because when they do it, and they're doing it before the age that they can really make any decisions themselves, until
Right.
they're 7, and they start to get cemented. So when we just feed them stuff and then later we don't think about it and it just becomes a part of them, then a part of their psyche, a part of our hearts gets kind of hardened or kind of dies off because of that. It's a form of programming. I'm not sure exactly, what it's called, but they get children developmentally. They do it in TV programs. They do it in, things that are done in churches. Same things in the Catholic Church, repeating, the, I believe, whatever it's called, the patrician or what. I believe in God the Father Almighty,
Yes,
creator of heaven and earth. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you get anybody repeating anything that you know is not true consciously, then you're going to be causing your brain cells to cause cognitive dissonance. And when people are like that, then they're feeling trauma. They're feeling fear, that fight or flight, and it makes them more vulnerable to control.
Well, one thing is let's see, Jacob says, that's why I love dogs. They don't care why they're happy. They just are.
I know. I never thought of it that way.
And then Stacy say, well, if you know someone, you are going to interpret what they are saying to their benefit. And then Michelle, you say, I personally believe it's because I'm not controllable, predictable. Well, most people see that. No offense to you. Please don't take this the wrong way. But those who believe that they're not controllable or predictable, or mainly controllable, those are the ones that are most susceptible to it, because they don't realize it. They can't accept that well, they're not looking out. They're not on, what am I trying to say? They're not on the defensive. They don't have walls up, because they truly believe that they can't be controlled. And what a talented mentalist would do is, and I'm just telling you this just to save you maybe from future problems, but is they would agree with you and say, absolutely, yes, you cannot be controlled. And but all the while, what are they doing? They're building that rapport with you to where you say, well, then why can they be hypnotized and I can't? Well, it's like I said, maybe you can't, but I believe that well, maybe you're one of the few, but it's
I think there's a lot of other ways. There's a lot of ways that we're hypnotized.
Right.
We're words, through music.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Sue Ellen, because that's what I'm trying to say.
People don't even understand. A lot of people say, "Oh, I don't care about the lyrics, to the song. I just listen. I like it for the beat." But I read someplace that your right brain, everything.
Yeah, listen to it in the morning and see what plays through your head the rest of the day.
Right, exactly. But there's also some studies out there that we might have to go through our whole life experience again. That the right brain remembers everything that it sees, experiences, and that it actually, when we're dying, it triggers that past life review. Can you imagine if we had to go over all of it again? Or it felt like we were?
Oh, man. No,
that's what's
thank
happening
you.
now.
Well, right. How
do
you know it's not?
The Others.
Well, it's like I posed the question.
Total recall.
have you had something, a choice that you've made that you knew was going to cause you a lot of pain, you were going to hurt other people, it was really going to affect you in an adverse way, and you knew it, and you did it anyway. You made the choice to do it anyway, and it was like you had to, like you didn't have a choice. Well, you may be right, because how do you know that you did truly have a choice? Maybe you already made the choice. Maybe you're here now to understand why you made the choice, the reason why. And that was actually in the Matrix movie, believe it or not. And I was like, wow, that's profound.
Elaine was talking about Total Recall.
Yes. And Michelle, you say 2 psychologists and one hypnotist. Well, maybe you are in that small percentage that cannot be hypnotized, but like Sue Ellen said, I believe that there are many different ways of hypnosis or manipulation is what it is.
If you're a woman and you're worried about turning a certain age and being older, you're hypnotized.
Yep.
All that's the stupid bullshit we think and we talk in the whole world that we've constructed. We have all been hypnotized.
Yep.
We're all playing along.
Well, these women who and men who go out, they get plastic surgery. Nothing against people that do. I'm just saying, why did you do it? Did you do it for you?
Well, we know why we do it. Who cares? We know it's the biggest subject that's going on out there. I mean, there have billboards in Las Vegas about tightening your vagina and getting penile, implants.
Well,
and for improving size.
Well, what I'm saying is that it's people say, well, I'm doing it for myself. No, you're not. You have been duped. You're not doing it for you. You're doing it for the spouse that you have or the partner that you have that is still turns his head and looks at the younger women or
not necessarily.
Or the women.
Oh no! Not necessarily that somebody's doing it for that reason. There's many happy couples that they get plastic surgeries, and it's not because he's cheating and doing that. But people have the means and the money, and they want to enjoy their life, and they want to look as good. Beauty is what is appreciated on this earth. It's what's valued. It's carved into our head.
Appreciated by who, though?
It's
beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right?
Well, that's what they say, but that's not what you see in the world.
Yeah, see, that's you've been hypnotized. As a man, I tell you. No. I do not agree with that.
I'm talking about parts of the world. I'm not saying with me. I'm just saying that many of the things that we even think about are because we've been hypnotized to think about them. I mean, it makes more GDP. We buy more things. We're more susceptible and more desperate. And when people are desperate, they
I'm
purchase
putting on my
more
tinfoil
things.
hat.
More likely.
I wear my tinfoil hat. So.
Yeah.
So ha, Sue Ellen.
I'm just using that as an example, though. There's a lot of.
You already made me mad now. You already ticked me off now. So anyway, I'm kidding.
We'll listen to Bam Bam. That's your
gotta have some fun.
Shame Bam Bam.
Oh my God, Shame Bam Bam, huh? I'll take that. Okay, I've been called worse. Stacey, you say I went to a hypnotist and she couldn't hypnotize me. Well,
hypnotizing is not just that way. We're talking about like the abusive boyfriend. That's the control freak that has his MO that does things. That hypnotizes.
Well,
in a sense,
right. Well, no, Michelle. With all due respect, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not confusing it because hypnotizing is actually programming. I mean, it's programming you with post-hypnotic suggestion into your subconscious that your subconscious soaks up, and so yeah.
I mean, there's different. Yeah, there's many forms of hypnotizing. There's many forms.
Yeah, and it's
and they're all used against us. So it's better. We need to know thy enemy.
Well,
not just know thyself.
What is what is it in itself? It is manipulation, whether for good or for selfish purposes. It is manipulation. You are manipulating someone's mind with their consent or maybe without their consent. And it is programming by suggestion, and man, the power of suggestion is so powerful. I mean, it really is. It's just like you can walk up to a person that's having a great day. Most people, I mean, you can say, man, do you feel okay? Because, man, you look horrible. And many people, they will be sick by the end of the day, like really sick, when they were perfectly fine before you said that, And
yeah, one little word.
And so you say, if I go to a therapist for past life regression, RLC, I'm not sure what that means, Michelle. If you go to a therapist,
not talking about sex or penis enlargement.
Right. So
Elaine said creative marketing in the 9th degree. Yep.
Okay. So if you go to a therapist for past life regression, etc., not taking Botox or penis enlargement, yeah, I hear you. Well, we were talking about this, the other day, is what does it all boil down to? Know thyself. When you know yourself, you've accepted yourself. When you've accepted yourself, you are powerful. You are a force to be reckoned with.
And you have to.
I think, therefore I am. I say I think, therefore I'm dangerous.
Why do you want to be dangerous?
No, I'm just saying that, I think, therefore...
Shakespeare, to himself be true, Elaine.
That's right.
Yes.
I think, therefore I am, but I think, therefore I am dangerous to... What I'm saying is a person that thinks for themselves is considered a danger to society or to the social norm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
One is programming, the other is a tool to go deep within our subconscious.
All anybody wants is to have a happy life, to have, to get what makes them happy from life and find the means to continue, being near what makes them the happiest. But it's, it's so ugly.
Let's see. Michelle, you say one is programming, the other is a tool to go deep within our subconscious. Well, how do you know that the programming is not going deep within your subconscious? I mean, it's all a matter of perspective and interpretation, and what they are not the same. Well, Michelle, I do not make me come and give you a whipping, okay? because you do not want that. You say they are not the same. Well, that's your opinion, but
well, you're right. She's right. One is programming you. I mean, the way that you would put them and you would explain them to somebody. I understand what she's saying.
What?
Hypnosis, but programming does go deep inside your subconscious. It just does it in layers, and it does it with repetition.
Now she's laughing at me. Michelle, you're really going to get a whooping now. I mean, people, this is going to be like on pay-per-view. Shane versus Michelle, okay?
Get out the boxing gloves.
No, forget the gloves. The gloves are off. I mean, you think Michelle's going to put on gloves with me? She's dangerous. No. But she can't hit what her eyes can't see. So I'm not worried about it. Anyway, and the fuse is lit. Anyway, so there's another one, read your mind, and it is just this. Okay, this is let me get my notes here. Okay. And if everybody's listening, think of any number between 1 and 10. Without saying it out loud, just think of it. Okay? Do you have that number? Okay. Yes, absolutely. And that's just it. We can disagree and still love each other. We're still a family. I mean, love you too, sister. I mean, really. And I hope that Stacy, my money is on Michelle. Now, hey, Stacy, Michelle, bring Stacy with you because, yeah. Wow, at least make it, at least make it interesting. So, yeah. Yeah, and I'm sorry, but you're both going to lose. Anyway, so think of any number between 1 and 10 without saying it out loud. Just think of it. Multiply your secret number by 2. Okay? Now add 8 to the number you got from your previous calculation.
Yes, Celine, exactly.
Okay. Divide your answer by 2. Subtract the original number from your answer above. And then convert the answer you get to a corresponding letter of the alphabet. 1, it's for letter A. 2, it's for letter B, and so on. Okay. Now, those that are following this, just give me a thumbs up or whatever. Okay. Now think of any country that starts with that letter. Think of any country that starts with that letter. Then think of an animal that starts from that letter, skip one letter of the alphabet. Think of an animal that starts with that letter. And don't say what don't say what it is or whatever. Okay, I'm gonna start over and think of any number between 1 and 10 except for Michelle. Okay. Think of any number between 1 and 10 without saying it out loud or typing it. Just think it. Multiply it by 2. Okay? Add 8 to the number you got. And divide your answer by 2. Are you with me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Subtract the original number from your answer. Okay, now convert the answer you get to a corresponding letter of the alphabet. 1 is for letter A, 2 for letter B, and so on. And then think of any country that starts with that letter. Okay? From that letter, skip 1 letter of the alphabet. Think of an animal that starts with that letter. Think of the color of that animal. So you should have a color, an animal, and a country.
Okay, wait. So after you get your country,
yes,
then you're supposed to do what?
Think of a country that starts with that letter. From that letter, skip 1 letter of the alphabet. Think of an animal that starts with that letter. So you would be...
Wait, you skip the one, once you get that letter, you're supposed to skip something?
Well, it would be the next letter.
So don't go to that letter when you're thinking about a country, go to the one over.
Right.
If you D, you go to E.
Right. From that letter, skip 1 letter of the alphabet. Think of an animal that starts with that letter. And then think of the color of that animal. So you should have a color, an animal, and a country. Okay? And the answer for this is a gray elephant from Denmark.
What?
What? Right or wrong?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. All right. Now that
crazy.
No. It just appears to be. And this is just mild stuff. Michelle, tell us what you really feel. Oh, okay.
I was writing. Yeah, me too, Elaine. I was too. Trying to.
But, yeah, that's right, Jacob. It sure is. Happiness is subjective. But, yeah, see, no. It's really not insane. And trust me, this is just like, I'm sorry, but this is like the simple stuff. This is like very, very, this is very low key. I mean, there's things like this. I mean, it's all based on the same premise, but it is so subtle that, well, it's not subtle. It's the person delivering it. It's how well they can deliver it, how smooth they are. And
right.
The truth is you would never know, like I said, if they missed, you would never know it, because they can bring it in, they can, like nobody's business, and like I said, they can look at a certain way. They can look at something. They can turn their head and make you turn your head. They can laugh. They can be happy, and you'll be happy. They can be mad, and you'll be mad. It's called mimicking, actually. Mimicking is what Crowley called it, and it's nothing more than resonating. It's resonance, okay? It's frequency. It is resonating. It is having such a rapport with that person that you are resonating with them. And but sad part is that
they're doing that. Don't you see it in all their commercials? You see it on TV. They show a commercial where you're calling and you're actually talking to yourself. So the
Absolutely.
person on the line is making you, and makes you feel happy and is there and handles it the way that you'd want it handled.
Right. Okay. Well, we're going to take a short break. Be back in 3 minutes with more live mind tricks and techniques, and I'll explain how this one was done. And Michelle, it's disturbing because it's so effective, but we will be.
Yeah. That was crazy.
So we will be right back, and
On break?
wait. Nope. I'm not sure. Just if you can hear me, listeners, just I'm not sure what's up, but wait a minute. Hold on.
that was crazy how you did that.
Well, I'm about to explain it.
Yeah, because I'm like, it would have been totally different.
Okay, there's something going on with the mute. I mean, man, the mute got stuck, and then it got stuck to where it wouldn't mute, and then the song muted. So I apologize for that. I have no idea what's going on, but this is on the Spreaker board. So there you go. Anyway, let's see. See what gets up here on the live chat. Okay. Michelle, you say, I'm kind of pissed to be able to be so predictable. Anyone else? I'm not really predictable, though. Sorry, is what Elaine said. Well, it's not that you were predictable. It's well, I'll explain it, and then you can make up your own. You can make your own decision on what took place, but don't take it the wrong way. I mean, don't. And then, Jacob, you say the longer I live, the more I think about happiness and what it means to be happy. I'm still not sure about that, but I'll keep on keeping on. That's right.
Yeah.
Michelle, do we just second guess our decisions? I guess many of us may. I mean, see, Elaine, you say I don't second guess. I make informed decisions, but that is my personality, though. Well, okay. I
understand how the first thing you have us all together and we're all doing it together, and then you use the word like between. So between is going to make our mind go in the middle. I could kind of. That's all I can think of.
Well, let's see.
Good night, Stacy.
Good night, Stacy. Thank you for being here and taking part.
Hi, Patricia.
Hey, Patricia. No, you're fine. You're fine. But that trick or that technique that I just did is all of the math in that. Okay, that had nothing to do with anything. It was just there's that background noise again. It's really.
Hi, Patricia.
But
I can't. I don't know. Doing it again, and I absolutely have done nothing.
Wait. Hold on just a second. Let me see something here. Let me see if I can take care of it from here. I bet I can. Okay. All right. That should be better. So, all right. The math and everything was just to confuse you. Basically, after all of the calculations, you come down to one answer, and that answer is 4. It's always 4. It has to be 4 because the letter has to be D. Why? Because that's just how it works. Because out of all of the countries of the world, how many countries begin with D? Well, most people would think Denmark right away. Stacy said the Dominican Republic, and when you think about it, think about all the countries in the world that begin with D. There's not that many. But you don't really, you're not paying attention, so you're you're not expecting to be taken. You know, Bengali. Well, yes, but how many people are gonna? Yeah, nobody's gonna. Very few people are gonna put Bengali. Yeah.
Very interesting.
But so that's the first thing, and then skip one letter of the alphabet, you come to an E. Okay. When you think of an animal that starts with an E, whoa, you're not going to think of an eel, are you? Stacy thought of an emu, but Dubai is actually, I don't know. I don't even know really. I mean, I think it's a city, right? But what? Yes, Dubai is in the United Arab Emirates. But what I'm saying is that most people are going to say Denmark. Most people are going to say Denmark. Elaine, you're weird. I'm sorry, but you're just weird. But in a good way. Let's see. Michelle, you said could have been cat? I'm not sure what you're talking about. But so most people, when you say think of a country that's, or you know, they think of a country that starts with the letter D, it's going to be Denmark. And then think of an animal starts with the letter E, it's going to be an elephant. And then when you think of its color, well, the only elephants I've ever seen have been gray. I mean, I've seen a few albino, but mainly elephants are gray. So you have a color, a gray, you have a color, an animal, and a country, and a gray elephant from Denmark. So no. It was the fourth letter, and then the next letter, which would be E. It could not go both ways because, well, I guess it could, but that would ruin it. That would ruin the success rate of this particular technique, this trick. What you will find is they seem to allow you to make the choice, to make the decision, but really you're being bottlenecked into making
you're being guided.
Yeah, you are being guided. It is actually called leading. You are being led to make the decision you make by what I call bottlenecking. It just get your choices, and you don't realize it, but your choices are getting, less and less. But most people, they don't realize that. And then when you say a gray elephant from Denmark, you're like, whoa, what the hell?
Yeah, that was like, yeah.
Yeah, it freaks you out. I mean, it really does. But and then, but, okay, and then another number trick is think of a number between 1 and 50. 1 and 50. Okay, it must be a 2-digit number. Both numbers must be odd, but they can be different numbers. And when you have your number, don't type it. Don't tell us. I'll tell you what it is. Just let me know when you have it.
I got mine.
And Elaine, you say your television shows are pre-programmed. Your results, yeah, absolutely. and you say in your test grade is a 4-letter word. Yeah, I mean, it's all, you can dissect it. I mean, yeah, it's you know, it's
You're not
there.
getting it right this time, Shane.
Well, we'll see. Okay, all right. Okay, so except for Patricia, if you're there, let me know if you have your number, or is she still here? I don't know. I can't see. I wish I had a list, but it doesn't show me a list of when people leave or whatever. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and say, okay, let's see. 37. I don't know.
Nope.
Maybe 13. But
nope.
I was feeling 37, but
I thought of 13, but I went away from it.
okay, well, it's the first number that you think of.
Well, yeah, but
So that was right. See, no, that's BS. But that's what they do. Is if you said,
but it gets people, and it works enough times that, especially when people are on the spot, you know, when you're like in a group of people,
yes,
and the nervousness of just social nervousness,
yes,
people revert and they do things really automatically, quickly.
right, and
I got 17 too, Elaine.
that would be something that they would say is, okay, Michelle, then yeah, 37, okay. You went high, just like most people do. Some people, about, I don't know, maybe 30%, they go low, 13, which is what Sue Ellen's first choice was, and then she said she changed it, which I said, well, it's your first choice. It's the number that first pops into your mind. And most people would probably believe that, but that's BS. That is another way of avoiding the miss. See, I blamed it on her, or I averted that by saying, well, it's the first number you come to. And most people would accept that and be like, oh, okay, well, then you were right. Well, a skilled mentalist is going to make you believe they're right either way, no matter what you do. They're going to bob and weave and duck and evade everything, and you're not even going to see them doing it because they don't have to.
I notice a lot of the ladies that do tarot, and gentlemen that do tarot on YouTube, a lot of them use like the 3 card for being like, you know, a 3-way or the person's cheating.
Uh-huh.
And they bring up a lot of paranoia, but they use that 3 card all the time, and I've watched how some of them, you know, stir people up to get them hooked.
Yes. Oh man, that's called that's called the hook. It's not hooking, but it's called the hook.
It says another way that they do it is they watch for subtle reactions that reveal major details. They're waiting to see how the client will respond.
Yeah, exactly.
If you say something during a reading that makes sense to someone, they might nod or smile. And then being the subject of a psychic reading is like listening to a joke. You're waiting for the person to say something specific, and when they do, you're going to react. That's the whole point. The psychic just needs to watch out for those reactions.
That's right. And they are extremely, they pay extreme attention. You cannot imagine that the skilled ones...
That's the next on the list. They said they look for minor clues that reveal important information, like a wedding ring. How expensive is your jewelry?
Exactly what I talked about last night to the T. So we're on the same page. I talked about they read you within a minute of meeting you for the first time. Yeah. And
they say that one of their tricks is they learn everything they need to know ahead of time. So they check the person out before they even start.
Well, a lot of the, faith healers, televangelists, they have, people fill out these cards so they can mail them a Bible, or they can mail them information on how to be saved, or whatever. And some I guess do, but they ask them about their problems and everything, so they can pray for them, when in reality, you do the math, all of those documents, which it used to be documents, now it's hell, they've got, you can just go online and do it. And they think that they're doing it because, Joel Osteen or Joyce Meyer or Kenneth Copeland's going to pray for them. No. They have people that are looking you up and checking you out. Yeah, get them on stage, No, don't get them on stage. They know who will who is susceptible, and if you watch them, you never see somebody roll up in a wheelchair. Only if they get past security, which some have, and that is horrible. It's really sad because nobody's ever healed. Nobody's ever healed. Right. I saw. There's this video on YouTube of Kenneth Copeland and Gloria Copeland, and they're doing all this neuro-linguistic programming. Although Kenneth Copeland, I'm sorry, but the guy, he's not smooth at all. He is like so rough. His delivery, but he still manages to do it. So I guess that he's the exception, but he has built up such a following and such an authority now that people, they overlook how ignorant he really is. And yes, I did say ignorant. And goofy. Man. And I'm just speaking truth, because the guy's a jerk. He really is. And but one wheelchair rolls up. Yes, he does. He acts possessed. Yes, he does. And well, he might be. He's definitely controlled now, whether it's by a entity or by some mind control technology or something like that. Who knows? But he's definitely controlled by something. Yes, he is an ass.
Yeah, he's a big ass.
He is a conceited ass. And so is his wife. She's even a bigger ass than he is. You can look at her and you can just feel
And I don't understand how people can see the money, the mansions, debts that they own. How could people continue?
Well, and two, how can you continue controlled by the love of money and the love of a $7 million mansion on Eagle Mountain Lake, which I grew up on Eagle Mountain Lake. And it's beautiful. But my God, this guy has got his own airport. He's got like 5 or 6 planes. He's got 3 jets, private jets. Last one was like $20 million, and then $12 million in upgrades. $32 million jet from that he bought from Tyler Perry. And
wow.
Yes, and that's just it. Thank you, Elaine. They think they have to edify him in the name of the Lord because he is the Lord's servant. He's the Lord's messenger, right? What did I say in the beginning? Those who say that they're messengers of God, but they use these mentalism techniques to make people think that. And yes, they don't go to his church to worship God. They go there to worship Kenneth Copeland.
Right. Exactly.
And he says, praise the Lord. No, he's saying praise Kenneth Copeland. Praise me, and they do. And he knows it. And his wife knows it. But look up the YouTube video, and it's funny, but it's not funny because I guarantee you, there were security guys that worked for him that got fired that night. I'm talking, they got canned right there. Right after that meeting, they probably, if not, probably have them beaten with pipes. I mean, I'm talking this.
No, you can only imagine though, what goes on.
Oh man, I'm telling you. Well, watch him. Yep. Watch how he acts.
People keep sending him their hard-earned money, Jacob. Exactly right.
He goes into this seething rage that he cannot hide, and he grits his teeth. And to the Inside Edition reporter that catches him,
my dad does that.
He grits his teeth and everything. Well, I do, but I admit, yeah, I have a temper. But somebody that is, well, first off, I'm transparent. I mean, I'm not going to take from people if I'm going to give before I take. I mean, I hate asking anybody for anything, which is why it's taken so long for me to get the website going and everything. And yes, but she is asking him valid questions, and she is quoting what he said, and he gets mad at her for saying it, but it's what he said. It's his own words. He says, why do we need private jets? He says, what do you want me to do? Get into an aluminum tube filled with demons? He says, have you seen how today's sick society is? And I'm thinking, man, you have really lost it, because that sick society is what has made you a billionaire. And they still, like Jacob said, they're still sending their money to you, and you're calling them demons, and that you don't want to be around them. And he says, well,
we're programmed to be led, to have a leader.
That's right. But
shepherd.
But what I would say is the best leader is not someone who has never been broken. It is someone that's been broken many, many times and is still putting themselves out there, and they might break. But I guarantee you, I want somebody that has been broken, that has been dead, that it's just like boxing, okay? A true champion is not based on his wins. A true champion is based on how he handles his losses. And I go back to Muhammad Ali. Every time he lost, they would say, well, what happened? Most fighters would say, well, my shoes were too big, the ropes were too loose, I was taking medication. Muhammad Ali would always say, he was the better man tonight. He beat me. And he would go on. And because of that, in losing, he won. People, they would follow him. They called him the champion because of how he was victorious over defeat. Now, see, that is a huge, that I know that Muhammad Ali was a big mouth, but that was all show. And he had something, he had a knowledge that very, very few people. That's right, Michelle. That's right. We do not need a middleman. Never have. That's what Jesus said. He says, go into your closet, talking about go into your heart. Not a literal closet, not a confessional booth. Go into your closet.
He's telling you don't go out with everybody in church. You do it in private. You don't go like people on the churches worshiping together that say, look, I'm a good Christian, I'm good this, or whatever.
Right. Bragging about how they have read the Bible 20 times. I'm like, good for you. Can you tell me about it? Well, so I asked him, I said, well, I've never read the Bible completely through, but let me ask you a few questions, and they can't answer even the simple questions. And I said, well, what you basically did, you read the words and for your own benefit, to feel good about yourself, but you didn't take it in, you didn't absorb it, you just skimmed over it. And that's the truth.
There's an article on ABC News, and it talks. Have you ever heard of Mark Edwards?
I think.
The psychic?
Oh, yes.
Well, he did a report, and he said this, came out. He said, are psychics real? And he said, no, they're not real. It's just a matter of intuition. If you're good with people, you learn how to read people. If you want to be a real estate agent or a clairvoyant, they're all similar skill sets. If it's a skill you can learn, it's real, but it's nothing supernatural. And then he says, are you against anyone claiming to be a psychic? In general, I'm against it. I think people are better served by going to a therapist. ABC News, how did you begin your career as a hotline psychic? And he said, I was working as a mentalist full-time doing seances. I wanted to know how the hotline mediums did it. My friends were making money sitting at their homes. I wanted to sit at the top of the mountain and see what it looks like. I learned the tricks of the trade, did it for 9 years. I had a friend who did it, and they gave me a number. I did a few auditions. They liked me. There was no test. You just needed to have a gift for the gab. And then said, what are you encouraged to do? You have to keep people on as long as possible. You ask for their birthday, their name, their address. Then they start spamming people. They send callers letters telling them they're in danger and they need to call your psychic friend immediately. The average call is 15 to 20 minutes, but they want 1 hour. The final straw was when I did an infomercial for them. They handed me a pile of info and told me who was asking the questions. It was a total fake. 5 to 7 psychics might be nice people, but everyone else are crooks.
Right. Well, Kenneth Copeland, he worships Kenneth Hagin and Oral Roberts. He said that they are his spiritual fathers. No, they're not. They're the con men that taught him, that brought him up on how to con people. Now, Oral Roberts, his lawyer said that he asked him. This was in court, because trust me, Oral Roberts was taken to court many times, and his son Richard Roberts had to step down from Oral Roberts University for misappropriation of funds. Yeah, he was his hand was in the cookie jar. 2007, he had to step down, and because he was taking money. Good night, Michelle. Thank you so much for being here and for taking part.
Good night, Michelle.
But so what happened is in court, Oral Roberts, he is under oath, and there's people there that are listening to his every word, and the lawyer asked him. He says, is faith healing real? He said, is it, do you have documentation of these healings? This is a man who claims to have raised people from the dead, I'm just saying. And Oral Roberts, under oath, said, he said, the claims or the events are greatly exaggerated. He said that's just part of the business. That's just part of the business. Not that's just part of how God works. That's part of spirituality. No, that's just part of the business. It is a business. Oral Roberts from Oklahoma, okay, he had vacation homes in California, and I'm talking Beverly Hills, Malibu, but here comes Oral Roberts out, and he and his wife, oh man, and they just look like this couple, but then this nice couple, but then he started bragging about. He says, of course, in the Bible, Peter says, silver and gold we have none, but the power of the Lord, the power of God resides in us, and this is what we give to you. And Oral Roberts, it's on YouTube. It's all over the place. Oral Roberts prays for Kenneth Copeland, and he says, money and gold I do have, and he says, and I bestow the mantle upon you. And Kenneth Copeland is like worshiping Oral Roberts, and it was really sickening. And but this is the deal. Is Kenneth Copeland a bad guy? Well, maybe, but not really. He's just as mind controlled and brainwashed, or I don't know if you want to call it that, as anybody else. He succumbed to the temptation, and when he did, that's just like taking the bait and being hooked. And let's just face it, which one of us would not be tempted? I'm not saying that you would, but you would be tempted, greatly tempted, if you lived, say, like 6 months, like Kenneth Copeland lives. I'm talking, my God, wow. He basically, he just has to put the show on. And people, they do the rest. What is that? It is mass mind control. But they always, it's just like I was telling Sue Ellen before we started the show. We were talking about, Sylvia Brown. They begin to believe that they really have this power. So they're self-deluded. They deceive themselves. and it's like they're running, and they just keep running faster and faster. They don't realize they have a rope around their neck, and that rope's tied to a tree, and they don't know how long the rope is. And, eventually, inevitably, they hang themselves. And there you go. I mean, but there are people, thousands of people, that they see, and on some level they know what Kenneth Copeland is, what Joel Osteen is, what Creflo Dollar is, what Jesse Duplantis is. All these people, and I'm not just talking about the televangelists, I'm talking about any guru or supposedly messenger or these psychics or whatever. They all will fall sooner or later. It's just like Uri Geller. Okay, now I don't have anything against him because he's, to my knowledge, he has never taken anything from anyone. But he was the one that could supposedly bend forks and spoons.
He would talk to the dead, right?
I don't know if
he...
No, I don't think that was him.
He was a mentalist, yeah.
Oh, yes, a mentalist.
Yes.
But, and Elaine brings up a good point, is that Marianne Williamson is on the Democratic ticket for president. Good night, brother. Thanks for being here. But, yeah, it's so, let's see, where was I? I lost my train of thought. But that's exactly what it is they have been conditioned by the neuro-linguistic programming, by the much more sophisticated, much more deliberate, much more superbly delivered things that have the same basis as the three examples that I just gave you. And
right.
And you have to admit, when I told you your number, or I told you what you were thinking about, the gray elephant in Denmark, and the number 37, if that was your number, it is in your DNA to have this feeling come over you of shock, but it's like you are
wonder.
Shock and awe. Okay. And what it is it is in our nature. It's just like the X-Files said, I want to believe. You want to believe. And what most magicians, not mentalists, but most magicians will tell you is the truth is people want to be tricked. They want to experience that.
Right.
And so,
well, we do. We like magic. We want to go see things. We want to know, that there's magic in the world. We want to know that we live on after this.
That's right.
And the
Good night, Elaine.
that we love, that we've lost, move on. So
that's right.
Makes us very vulnerable.
Thanks for being here. Good night.
Good night.
Okay, it's.
Good night, Elaine. And I have
Gosh, I didn't even see the time. We've gone 2 hours and 15 minutes. So, yeah, we're going to call it a night. Yeah, we're going to call it a night here. Yeah, I had no idea.
We'll all go to bed together.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't sound right.
That did not sound right. Sue Ellen. Okay. But anyway, if you want to check out our new website, which we are still working on, so just bear with us. It is www.texarcist-podcast@gmail.com. www.texarcist podcast.com. And that's the website. And then if you want to send us a message, show ideas or something that you're going through, you can reach us at the texarsispodcast@gmail.com. And so we would love to hear from you. And those of you listening on YouTube, thank you for listening. And
please remember to like or subscribe.
Yes, please. We would appreciate it very much so.
Okay.
And tell your friends about the show, family, and tell them check it out and see what they think. And to check out the website, I am adding links to the different to our Twitter page, Facebook, different social media, as well as all the different platforms that we're on, so everybody can listen and take part. Anyway,
right.
So Ellen, do you have anything else that you want to add before we say goodnight?
Nope, I think this was a really good show the last 2 nights. And your show last night, just want to tell you, it was incredible.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I really, really enjoy this topic because it is so
Yeah.
it is so fascinating.
And this is stuff we need to teach our kids,
Yeah.
so they don't get taken advantage of.
That's
We need
right.
to understand this, like psychology. Like you see the pictures where you see 2 different things.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what they call it.
Like the
It shows in
Rorschach
psychology.
test.
Yeah, similar.
Yeah, I had that given to me one time, and they said, "What does this look like to you?" And I said, "It looks like a Rorschach test." Said, am I right? And well, they didn't know how to answer that, so yeah, it looked just like a Rorschach test to me. So that's all you're getting out of me. But anyway, well, love and light to you all, and good night from Texas.
Thank you so much.
We will see you next time. Good night, everybody.
All right. Good night.